Hey guys, Anthony with the Rag Company, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about everything that's in my detailing cart. Let's jump into it. All right guys, so today we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to be walking through many of the products that I use at home in my garage on my detailing cart, and we've kind of replicated that on this industrial Viper cart that we have in front of us. So what this is going to be is not so much my favorite products, but it's going to be a lot of my go-to products, or maybe some of the products that I reach for first when it comes to my detailing ventures, whether it's interior details, exterior details, polishing, coating, etc. So we're going to be going through this kind of one by one, bringing things up and talking about that, and hopefully helping you out with some of your product decisions, or maybe you just want to know what I use at home. So let's jump into it. I'm going to be covering most of the chemicals first, and I know that there's different ways to probably shoot this video and segment this, but I feel like this is probably the easiest thing for me to follow, so hopefully this has been easy for you to follow until we get into the accessories and tools and all of that. All right, so starting with the exterior first, we're going to talk about my wash chemicals as well as my decon chemicals. So starting first, we have Force from Gloss. Grab that. We're going to grab Magic Wheel Cleaner here. And then over on this side, I'm going to grab myself some Iron Buster from PNS. We have Koch Chemie GSF, and then we have Optimum No Rinse. So needless to say, with 5 of these chemicals, I can pretty much do everything I need to do for exterior decon and washing. So starting with a wash, we have Koch Chemie GSF. Do I even need to explain GSF to you? Have you been living under a rock? It is one of the best soaps on the market today. Not only does it smell phenomenal, but it works amazing in a foam cannon, amazing in a bucket, rinses well every single time. I'm obsessed with this soap. Over here we have Optimum No Rinse. Also my rinseless wash product of choice, but it's also something that can be used for so many other things, such as a clay lubricant. But yeah, Optimum No Rinse, we'll probably cover this again in the interior chemical section because you can pretty much use it on everything. And then over here we have Gloss Forced. So this is an amazing citrus pre-cleaner, probably one of the strongest that we sell here at the Rag Company. It can also be diluted, but this thing's amazing for removing the lower grime off of a vehicle. It can take the browning out of a tire almost instantly. You can also use it as a wheel cleaner, but Force can be used for so many things on the exterior vehicle. It's phenomenal. You have to try it. Over here we have Magic Wheel Cleaner, which is going to be, I would say, my wheel cleaner of choice if I had to pick one. Something that can also be diluted, but what I like about this is that it also has a built-in fallout remover. Now, do you always need to use a fallout remover on your wheels? No, not necessarily, but I feel like this is pretty much a contactless wash. I mean, I do a couple sprays on a wheel. I can agitate it or I can simply rinse it, and I find that it does a majority of the work for me. So Magic Wheel Cleaner is amazing. And then Iron Buster is going to be probably one of my fallout removers of choice. I actually like the smell of this one. Most of them don't smell amazing, but this one isn't so bad, and it's also extremely affordable. So if you're doing a full iron decon on the car, you can spray this all over. It's safe on all exterior surfaces. Just make sure it doesn't dry and make sure to rinse it thoroughly. Now again, I'm not saying that these are my favorite products, but these are the products I'm probably going to reach for the most, right? The products that I have the most use with, or just kind of my general go-tos because of just experience over the years. And so no knock on anything else. Everything else that we sell here is amazing. It's just this is going to be the first thing I'm probably going to reach for. So with that said, we can now move on to the polishing step. All right, so let's just say I've done my wash, I've done my decon, and now I need to use some chemicals for polishing. That's when I'm going to reach for Optimum Hyper Polish and the Last Cut Compound. So these two together, phenomenal. The creme de la creme. I've used this combination for years and years, and it's absolutely my go-to. So the Last Cut Compound, not to be confused with Last Cut Plus or the Final Polish. This is the original, the OG. This is the compound that made me fall in love with paint correction. Now, not only does it have a pad-dependent cut to it, but it also has a very long working time. It's little to no dusting. You don't have to mask off your trim, and it also has a very nice scent. Now, a lot of people get confused with the Last Cut Original and the Last Cut Plus. They think because as a Plus that it's better. It's not necessarily better. Plus is designed for high heat environments and extremely long working time, especially if you're using a rotary. The original here is going to probably be the best with a dual action polisher in my experience. Now over here we have Optimum Hyper Polish. It's an amazing amazing, amazing polish. Also something that has a pad dependent cut, but what I love the most about it is that I've never ever had to mask off trim. This actually can be used to clean trim, which is pretty crazy. It finishes out beautifully, has no fillers in it, and it's also so delicate that I can use it on a pad for even interior surfaces that have a glossy finish, whether it's piano black or carbon fiber or anything like that. And so paired together, these are just, they're my go-to. There's a lot of compounds that we sell here that are amazing, but these are just the two that I reach for first. All right, so we've washed the car, we've done a decon, you've seen my compounds and polishes of choice. Now reaching underneath here, I'm going to grab my last step protection. So I got XOV5, panel wipe for good measure. We've got CSL, I have C5 wheel armor. Over on this side of the cart, what do we got? We got, paint gloss, I'll grab that. We've got Dream Maker, I'm gonna grab that as well. And then over here, PSS, right? For trim, that's gonna offer some protection as well. So going through this, again, just some of the products I reach for first, right? Some people might take this literally and say, this is all Anthony uses. No, I use a ton of products, arguably too many, but these are gonna be things that I'm going to typically reach for when I'm doing some type of protection. So for my last step protection, right? If I'm doing a coating, obviously I need panel wipe, but then I have 3 coatings here. I have G-Technic CSL, rated for 3 years plus, an amazing coating, really easy to use, fantastic hydrophobic behavior. It is not the hardest coating on the market by any means. It can still have some micromarring issues and things like that, but for the most part, the hydrophobics are incredible. It's got tons of UV inhibitors in it, and did I mention that it's easy to use for pretty much everybody. Then XOV5 over here, a pretty big improvement over V4 in my opinion. The hydrophobics of V5 are just, they're almost too good. And so V5 can be used as a standalone. Let's just say if I'm doing just a really easy coating, right, and the customer maybe only wants a year, maybe 2 years out of it, I'll typically reach for something like this. Now, you know what's even easier than XOV5? Hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our future content. That's right, I'm just gonna lay here and wait for you to hit that. Good, thanks. Or if I'm topping it with CSL, I can usually say that that coating combination will be rated for 5 years plus. And I have done this coating combination on my personal cars several times. We have C5 wheel armor. I like this for more than just wheels. I like this for exhausts. I like this for engine covers, you name it. Valve covers, all of that. C5 is just extremely durable, really easy to use, and it falls in the same G-Technic family, so I can even top C5 with XOV5 if I choose. Now, that's just an example of a coating combination, but if I were to move over to maybe just kind of a topper or something that I'm using on a coated car, I would typically reach for these over here. All right, so PNS Paint Gloss. This is another product that is extremely versatile. This is something that I'm going to use pretty much weekly as a topper, if not just a quick little cleaner or a quick detailer. Reason being is that it's extremely affordable. So if you buy this in a gallon, you can really use it, abuse it, overuse it, and you can really go to town with it and you're not gonna feel bad about it. I use this on door jams, I use this on glass, I use this on paintwork, bug guts, things like that whenever I need a quick clean. It's affordable, it smells really nice, and it's just easy to use. Now, if I'm looking to take my coating to the next level, maybe I have a car show coming up, or maybe I've done a maintenance wash and I want to go take photos of my car, I'll typically reach for something like Dream Maker. So Dream Maker is going to be an extreme gloss enhancer. I don't care what Matt Mormon says. This is better than OG Drying Aid, and I will die on that hill. This is a phenomenal product for gloss. It's gonna add a lot of depth to the paint. It's gonna make it look good for a car show, a photo shoot, whatever it may be. It can be used as a drying aid just as well as paint gloss can. You just wanna use a minimal amount, right? Maybe a spray per panel, 2 sprays per panel, and no more than that. A little goes a long way with Dream Maker, but this paired with a CSL and EXO combination, right? You've done your coating, you've waited a month, you top it with some Dream Maker after a wash, and it is like, oh my gosh, that's like the pinnacle of gloss and good looking paint. So give that a try. Now, honorable mention here, PSS. This is gonna be something I'm gonna use on my tires for protection or trim for protection. Now, this wouldn't be like a full-on restore like I would do with like solution finish or something like that. This is typically gonna be something I'm just going to top my tires off with, top my trim off with, cowls and things like that to add more UV protection, and it just has a really nice, deep, natural finish to it, which is cool. Now, you're probably wondering, Anthony, where is your long-term sealant here on the table? Now, the reason why I don't have a long-term sealant here on the table is because mostly what I have on my cart are things to maintain my own vehicles, and all of my vehicles are coated. So for my coated cars, I use things such as this. I'm not going to be topping my coated cars with more and more sealants. I've done that before in the past. I've ruined a lot of microfiber towels, and I've had a lot of streaking issues because I thought I needed protection on top of my protection on top of my protection, and I went down that rabbit hole, and it is not a rabbit hole that you need to go down. Coat your cars, top it off weekly, every couple weeks with something like this, and you're good to go. Trust me on that. But if I were to pick like a long-term sealant there, I'll reach for something like Beadmaker or SO02 or maybe Sternogloss Parla or something like that, which is going to offer more protection. But again, I'm more of an advocate of coatings. And so, and then obviously PSS here, you probably should have a bottle of this if you don't have one yet. All right, so let's talk about interior chemicals. I'm going to be reaching for what? Optimum no rinse. Again, told you I was going to do that. Over here, I've got PNS Terminator. I'm going to reach for G-Technic Tri-Clean. I got Sternogloss Glass. And then here on the front, I have Polestar and I have Topstar. Quite the little haul here, right? Why do I need so many interior chemicals when typically O&R can do most of this? Well, I like variety, and there's obviously different circumstances that'll come into with doing interior details, stains, marks, things like that I have to get out with a variety of different things. So O&R is going to be probably my standard, quick, just wipe down product, right? I'm going to dilute it 256:1. I'm going to remove dust from my interior. I'm going to clean my center console. I'm going to clean my gauge cluster, my touch screens. All of that is going to be typically diluted O&R 256:1. That's just how versatile this product is, and I really like using it for that. Now, for deeper cleaning, I'm typically going to reach for Koch Chemie Polestar. This is an extremely versatile interior cleaner. So I was using Express for so many years, and that was always my go-to. And then we actually picked up Koch Chemie as a brand, and I started playing with Polestar, and I just really fell in love with it. So it's a product that can be diluted anywhere from 10:1 to 30:1, depending on your cleaning needs. It can be used as a quick wipe down product, such as O&R, but it could also be used as something that's going to really get out some deeper stains. So safe on all fabric surfaces, including Alcantara, which is a big perk for maybe many of you watching this right now. I also use this on plastics. So typically I'll dilute it like 20:1, maybe even 30:1, but this 1 liter bottle here, this concentrate, makes me a lot of cleaner. But I've been able to use this on really deep stains, and yeah, I don't know. I love Polestar. It smells nice, it has a really good scent to it, and again, just very versatile. Now, if I'm doing some other deeper spot cleaning, I'll usually use the combination of G-Technic Tri-Clean and even PNS Terminator. So this is going to be one of the only enzyme cleaners that we actually have here at the Rag Company, and it's great for removing smells, right? So I've had cars in the past that had cigarette smells, even like dog pee smells and things like that, and Terminator was able to remove those permanently because it breaks down a lot of those proteins and things like that that get caught up in the fabrics. Now, G-Technic Tri-Clean is also an amazing spot cleaner as well. So I've used this to take out some pretty gnarly stains, but I've also used this to touch things up. Now, what I like about Tri-Clean is that it has an antibacterial property to it. So during those early 2020 years, this was a very good cleaner to use because it killed a lot of that bacteria and it prevented it from coming back, especially on interior door panels and steering wheels and things like that. And so just an overall killer. Now, as far as protection goes on my interior, this right here, Topstar. I would kiss this multiple times if I could. This is just, the look of Topstar is kind of unlike anything else. It is truly an OEM finish, but it's just deeper and darker. So even the oldest and grimiest of plastics can be typically restored with this product right here, which is just, it says a lot. So Topstar is really easy to use, has a pop top on it, so you can put this on an applicator and apply it like that, or heck, you can even throw a sprayer on it and spray it if you choose to do so. Typically, I'll throw a sprayer on it, I'll spray it into my towel, and then apply it to all of my plastics, and the look is just really nice. And so it's not greasy or anything like that. It's just deep, dark, and has a nice matte finish when you feel it. Now, glass. Can I use O&R 256:1 on glass? Absolutely, but sometimes there's certain films or certain things that take a while to break down. So short story here, my truck had a heater core leak about 1.5 years ago, and I was getting this really nasty fog on the inside of my windshield, and I could not cut through it with something like O&R. this right here was able to cut through it. So if you vape or smoke, or maybe you even have a coolant leak on the inside of your truck, not ideal. This is going to be something that can cut through that really, really nicely. And so glass is just going to be an amazing cleaner for really doing those deep cleans on the interior. And yes, it is safe on tint. So with these 6 products, I can pretty much do everything I need to do on an interior, whether it's a deep clean or even if it's just a really light wipe down. This is going to be probably something I'm going to reach for first. We have plenty of other amazing interior products, but yeah. This is typically what will be on my cart. All right, so I think that pretty much covers everything chemical related. I'm sure there's probably a few that I missed that are currently on my detailing cart at home right now, but I think you guys got a good picture here. So now let's move on to the main meat and bones, that delicious premium microfiber. So jumping down to my cart here, I have our 1500 drying towel, an absolute beast. We've got Eagle Edgeless. I have, FTWs, I have green pearls, I've got Cyclone 10X, also awesome. Got a Dry Mere River, I've got Edgeless 365 and Creature Edgeless. And any more stragglers? Of course, the Rip and Rags right over here. Rip one of those off. So these towels right here are typically what's going to be in my microfiber bins. So starting off here, Cyclone 10X wash pad. I'm a wash pad guy. I've always been a wash pad guy. You guys have seen me use mitts in plenty of videos. It's not that I don't like mitts. I think the mitts are great, but oftentimes I'll tuck the cuff in and just use them as a pad. So the 10X wash pad is incredible. Whether it's a small car or a big car, I find that the reach of this is great. Sometimes I'll wash my 4Runner at home and it's super hard for me to kind of get to that top middle area of the roof, and this does a phenomenal job. And so extremely safe, has a nice plush feel to it, and when paired with something like GSF, it is amazing. Now, 1500 drying towel. This is it. If you're looking for the drying towel of drying towels, this thing is 1500 GSM, twist loop weave. It is just an absolute beast at absorbing most things. Now, I have a lot of liquidators at home, but I find that I gravitate towards the 1500 when I have to dry something that I don't enjoy drying, like my truck or like my 4Runner. But if it's something like one of my smaller cars, a liquidator will typically do the job. But I'm just a big fan of the twist loop weaves. The gauntlets are great, honorable mention there, but the 1500 just gets the job done, and I like that. Now, Eagle Edgeless 500s, I cannot go without having Eagles in my lineup for the reason that I have motorcycles and I have to do a lot of quick detailing and dust removal on a lot of things like my bikes. And so my bikes will get dusty over the winter months, and so typically instead of doing a full wash, I'll use something like an Eagle Edgeless with O&R, or I'll use, again, paint gloss and go through and clean up a lot of that dust. And an Eagle is going to be the safest because it's going to have the highest pile there, and it's going to reduce pressure points, and it's going to be able to really pull a lot of that dust away with how deep the fibers are here. So Eagle Edgeless, amazing. FTWs. Do I even need to explain FTWs? I mean, they're for the win. They're for everything, but they are just an amazing all-around towel for a last step protectant or something like Dream Maker. So if I'm using this and I'm going back through with Dream Maker after drying off the car, this combination is amazing. Just make sure to throw these into the wash immediately so your towels don't get all sealed up. And so FTW is also amazing on glass, but just an all-around extremely dense towel that's extremely versatile. Now, pearl weaves. Now, before the Rip and Rag XL, these were one of my go-to towels for leveling and removing ceramic coatings. I like the green pearls because I actually like the overlock stitch edge. I feel like it adds a little bit more flop to the towel, a little bit more density to it, and I'm really able to get a good grip on the towel. I think the edgeless are great as well. The purple pearls, amazing, but these are just a really affordable coating towel that you can use, abuse, and if you have to throw them away at the end of the day, you don't really feel bad about it. So green pearls there, honorable mention, but the Rip and Rag XL might be winning me over these. So Edgeless 365. Me and Levi have preached these for years and years. This is going to be the go-to microfiber towel. It's an all-purpose Edgeless 365 GSM towel with a 70-30 blend, and really this is I mean, this is like a pedestal microfiber towel. This is a towel that can truly do it all. Everything from compounder removal to polish removal, wax removal, quick detailing, interior cleaning, gauge cluster cleaning. This is just the all-purpose towel that everybody needs in their lineup that can really do it all, and they're pretty much bulletproof. You really can't kill an edgeless 365 towels. I have some of these towels going on years and years and years, and I just can't throw them away because they're still in such good shape. So 365 is amazing. And then Creature Edgeless here. This is a very similar towel to the 365 in terms of it being a terry weave. However, the Creature has a higher pile on one side. So if you look on this side, this looks very similar to that of the Edgeless 365, but flipping it over, we have a much longer pile on this terry side. Now, the reason why I like the 420 Creature is because if I'm doing some polishing, sometimes I don't want the lower pressure points of the 365. This towel has a really good bite to it, but sometimes my pressure points on my fingers may even cause some micro marring on some softer paint, which I don't want, whereas the Creature Edgeless will prevent that, right? So I would say this is the perfect in between of the Eagle Edgeless and the 365. So the Creature is just that intermediate towel that you probably need in your lineup along with these two for those tricky paint situations. It can also be used as just a great door jamb cleaning towel, a great interior towel. It's low linting, just a big fan of the Creature, and I also really like the lime green color. Now over here, Rip and Rag. If you're a car guy, you have to have Rip and Rags. You have to. I cannot emphasize this enough. You need the Rip and Rag in your life. Whole box, you can get 80 towels for like 30 bucks. It's incredible. What better deal is that? Did I get a little intense there? I did get intense there. I'm freaking people out by that, right? It's not a good sales tactic. Anyways, so the Rip and Rag. Just an overall amazing towel. I use this for checking my oil and my dipstick. I'll use this for light dusting. I use this for metal polishing now. And I've even started using this as like a quick little coating towel for certain small jobs. So let's just say I'm coating a wheel, or maybe I'm coating maybe some trim, right? And I need to get in there with a really tight towel. I'll usually like cut pieces off of a Rip and Rag, dunk that in a little bit of coating, and use that to get into tighter spaces. And so just a super versatile towel. Again, Rip and Rag XL will probably be replacing my pearls here, but the Rip and Rag original isn't going anywhere and is always gonna have a spot in my garage. And then last but not least here, we have the original Dry Mere River style waffle weave. So I've been using these since 2012. Is actually when I first picked up my very first waffle weave from the rag company. And that's what, 12 years ago? Oh my God, where has time gone? Anyways, so this towel right here, amazing for glass, amazing for interior glass. I really like this on mirrors or just spot cleaning touch-up. So I really like the 16 by 16 size. The 16 by 24 is amazing as well, but it's a 70-30 blend, Korean made, butter soft suede edge. It's just another extremely durable towel that you can have in your lineup that's just amazing for glass and has a low lint type weave to it. So anyways, as far as towels go, I can pretty much do it with everything you see here, right? 365, gonna be probably my most go-to drying towel, 1500, Cyclone 10X, amazing. And then yeah, the advent of the Rip and Rag XL is really changing the game here, the way we do things at the rag company for towels and for detailing. So a big mention goes out to that as well. So that's what I would use. So now it's time to jump into the accessories. All right, so this card is new to me. I've not used this card a whole lot since it's been just a couple weeks since TR-SEMA, so just bear with me as I pull out a lot of these accessories. We have a brush holder over here, amazing. Over here we've got, IK Multi-Pro 2, definitely need that. We've got, Detail Factory with like its own little perfect holder. We've got Ultra Wool Wheel Mitt. We've got Ultra Wheel and Body Brush. What else do we have? What else do we have hidden in here? Oh, Jimmy, over here. PF22 foam cannon, TR360 trigger sprayer, Ultra Air Blaster, need that. Ultra Clay Scrubber, the list goes on. Lighting here, headlamp, okay. Polishing pads, well, probably should mention those as well. Polisher we'll probably cover here in just a minute. And, of course, Detail Factory, another Detail Factory brush, and Detail Factory tire brush. Holy smokes. We filled up the top of this cart with accessories. So Jimmy, where do we start? All right, so we're gonna get the big stuff out of the way and then we'll kind of jump into the tools for the end here. So starting with the IK Multi Pro 2, this is gonna be my go-to for a rinseless wash pre-spray if I'm doing some light cleaning or if I'm using this as my clay lubricant spray. If you have not used one of these for a clay lubricant with something like O&R, you're missing out. It's incredible. It's a full experience, right? You turn this on the fine mist setting, you spray it all over the car. It's gonna leave this nice dew on the car that you can then follow up with your Ultra Clay scrubber, and you can actually see where you've gone or where you need to go. And what I like about it is I can pump this thing up and keep spraying as I'm claying. So I have constant stream of clay lube going as I'm spraying this. So you definitely need one of these, whether it's for rinseless or just claying or any other type of exterior cleaning. It's also great for having wheel cleaners in here or even tire cleaners as well if you're doing a lot of off-road rigs. But the Multi Pro 2, amazing, amazing tool. Next up here is the IK Multi Pro 360 TR1, a very long name for a very amazing trigger sprayer. So this isn't your typical trigger sprayer. It's extremely comfortable nowadays. They've added this comfort grip to it. It's got the 360-degree pickup tube there. You can even use it upside down and continue to spray it. So this is probably going to replace all of my other trigger sprayers at home. I have just the original TR1s, which are incredible, but I really, really want that 360 pickup tube because it really takes it to the next level, because we've all been there where we've been spraying something or at that last little bit of product, you don't want to have to dilute more, and you're like, please, please pick up something, but this definitely solves that problem. All right, so for foam, we have the PF22. This is the pre-wide mouth version. I absolutely love this foam cannon. I've been using it here in TRC for years, and I even have the original non-upgraded base here at home. And so yes, it still tips over on its own every once in a while, but for the most part, it hasn't let me down. I've been using this for years and years and years with plenty of different snow foams, and it's just been a workhorse of a foam cannon. All right, so because these are an accessory, I will mention them now, even though we're gonna talk about the tools here in just a minute, but we're gonna talk about my polishing pad combination. So I am a big fan of the Rupes Yellow Wool. I'll actually open up one of these bad boys because this is gonna show you the newest design. It's also a little bit cleaner. Previous version here had a ton of seat time with this. Newest version, I have the most seat time with this. So this is probably gonna be my most used foam pad. From finishing to medium cutting to spot cleaning, touch up, whatever you need. This pad is just an extremely versatile pad, especially compared with a versatile compound or polish. So big fan of the Rupes pads. I've always loved these. I love the way they feel on the machines. They're extremely balanced. Yeah, not much else to say. I think, yeah, people know. All right, so getting trigger happy here, we have the Ultra Air Blaster. This is gonna be my preferred blaster out of our whole Ultra Air line, just because this is just gonna be my most used for blowing out interiors, blowing out door jambs, blowing out whatever. This is just going to be a workhorse of a blaster here, and it doesn't have the chemical chamber like the Ultra Air Blaster Plus, but that's okay, because typically I'm not spraying a whole lot of chemicals, right? If I'm going to be wetting something or spraying something, it's usually gonna be something like steam out of my McCulloch 1275 with something like O&R diluted at 256:1. This on its own is just, I kind of look at it as just like a duster, right? It's my duster for fender welds, it's my duster for interiors, it's my duster for getting rid of dog hair and things like that. But this is just a very versatile blaster, and I think that if you like using the blasters, this is probably the one to pick up. Now, before we get to the hot brush talk, I have to mention this right here. This is the Scan Grip headlamp. This is the iMatch 2. I have one of these at home. The iMatch 3 now exists, which is incredible. But this right here, I don't know how people detail without having a headlamp on. That's how I do all of my details. Interior, exterior. I like it so much that I had to buy a second one because I would use this one, run out of the battery, switch to the next one, put this back on the charger, and then cycle throughout the day. This is what helps me polish. This is what helps me see all the residual compound. This is what helps me see my coating on the surface when it's flashing, and also on interiors, right? You're gonna see so much more with using a Scan Grip headlamp than you will with pretty much any other source of lighting, right? You have multiple color temperatures on here, which is really helpful. But ultimately just the amount of brightness it has is just, it's crazy good. And so I can't do a detail without this. I can't ever imagine doing a detail without this. So I will almost always have a Scan Grip headlamp in my arsenal. All right, so for claying, I mentioned this earlier, the Ultra Clay Scrubber, paired with O&R, paired with that Multi Pro 2 pump sprayer. this is an incredible combo. So the Ultra Clay Scrubber was one of my creations here at the Rag Company that I'm really proud of. But what I love about this the most is that you have the Jersey Bug Scrubber on one side and you have the clay on the other. So this can live in your wash bucket with something like GSF next to your Cyclone 10X pad. You can use this to scrub bug guts off. You can use this for decon, actual claying. You can use this for doing a really deep clean on your front windshield. It has so many different purposes and it comes in a 2-pack. And so this will last wash after decon after decon. You're gonna get a lot of use out of the Ultra Clay Scrubber, and it's really, really comfortable in the hand. Probably my second favorite would be the Ultra Clay Towel, just because I like that you can fold that. And probably my third favorite would be the Ultra Clay Mitt. Again, not a huge mitt guy, so that's just my personal preference. I really like the Ultra Clay Scrubber. That's gonna be my number one. Okay, so getting into some hot brush talk, we have the Detail Factory Curveball Brush. I'm not like Matt Mormon at Obsessed Garage. I'm not going to use this on my tires. That is obscene. This is way too nice of a brush to do that with. So I'll use this on coated wheels, something that needs very light cleaning, or I will use this on interior surfaces. So let's just say I pair this with Polestar. This is going to be able to build a wicked lather on the interior. I'm talking like shaving cream style lather, and it's going to be safe on virtually everything. I mean, this is literally such a soft brush that yeah, it's not going to do any damage. So you can also use this with soap and water. You can use this to clean your door jambs. You can use this on emblems, and the list goes on. Just a very versatile brush that has a very ergonomic grip, and I really, really dig it. Next up here, Ultra Wheel and Body Brush from yours truly here at the Rag Company. This is going to be my go-to brush for pretty much everything wheel cleaning, grill cleaning, cleaning around windows, things like that. It's very ergonomic. I love that it's the perfect size. It's not overly big, and I can really take my time to get between spokes and really do a nice deep clean. Now in certain cases, you can even actually fit this into the barrel of some wheels to get in there and actually clean the barrels as well. Some people say this brush wasn't big enough, but I think it's the perfect size, and it's just something that, yeah, it's always gonna live in my wheel bucket. Next to this right here. This is a new creation from the Rag Company, the Ultra Wool Wheel Mitt. So this is not microfiber, this is a wool product, and if you've never used a finger mitt like this, you gotta give it a try. It's not for everybody, but for me, I love it because again, all of my vehicles are coated, my wheels are coated, so they don't need a lot of agitation. So I put this on, I dunk this in with my favorite soap, a couple sprays of wheel cleaner. I can go through and do a killer wheel cleaning job. And of course, it's made out of ultra fine merino wool, which is safe on all surfaces. Now this right here, Detail Factory Barrel Brush. This is gonna be one of their new colors that we don't have quite in stock yet, but we do have the other colors. You have to have a barrel brush, you have to. Everybody has to have a barrel brush in their lineup. This barrel brush fits all of my barrels on my cars, but keep in mind it has a thicker kind of feel to it. So make sure you do the measurements, make sure this is gonna fit between your rotor and your barrel, but if it does, this is a phenomenal brush. This is something that can take a beating. You can buy extra heads for it to replace the different type of scrubbing power that you want. It's got 2 snaps now, which holds it in place. It's like a nice paddle that just, you can't break this thing, you can't kill it. All you have to do is replace the socks on it and it'll last you for forever. Next up, Detail Factory Tire Scrubbing Brush. Probably the best tire scrubbing brush on the market right now. It's ergonomic, it's comfortable in the hand, does a fantastic job on cleaning off-road tires. They have the XL version of it, which is great as well. But this right here paired with something like Forced, I'm gonna get my tires looking brand new almost every single time after a deep clean with that and one of these. Next up, Detail Factory Boar's Hair Long Handle and Synthetic Long Handle. So the Boar's Hair Long Handle is something that's gonna live in my wheel bucket as well for my lug nuts or deeper cracks and crevices around maybe my calipers or whatever it may be. This is gonna do a great job on pretty much everything exterior, especially wheels. This right here is gonna be mostly an emblem brush / interior brush. You can use the boar's hair on interior if you want to, but obviously you don't wanna cross-contaminate, so you'd have a second brush for that, preferably in a different color. But this right here is gonna be my go-to interior. So this and this with Polestar, amazing, amazing, amazing combination. This is gonna get into the tighter areas, such as maybe around your vents and whatnot. This is gonna be able to do a bulk amount of your door panels. But with these brushes right here, these accessories, I feel confident that I can pretty much do everything I need to do. All right, so with the accessories out of the way, we can now jump into the tools. Now, This is gonna look different for everybody, right? Everybody's gonna have different tools, different combinations of tools, and this is specific to machines and or blowers or vacuums, whatever it may be. But as far as what you can put on a cart or something that you're gonna use daily, here's a couple of the things that I'm gonna use the most. So first and foremost, Ego blower. Yes, we're a microfiber towel company. We sell drying towels that are incredible, but it is smart to still use a blower. So again, most of my vehicles are coated. A lot of the vehicles I work on are coated, so I don't have to always physically hand dry everything. I can blow things off, and so I will reach for an Ego blower to blow a majority of the water off, and then I can come back through with my favorite drying towel, maybe some paint gloss to use as a drying aid, maybe a little bit of Dream Maker or whatever it may be. But an Ego blower is really nice. Tons of power. The battery system is amazing here. You know, we don't sell Ego products, but I would say that I completely back them 100%. We had Ego out for TRCMA this year, and what they're doing, what they're creating is just, it's amazing. So Ego blower, hands down a go-to, or just a blower in general, right? I'm gonna typically use this to blow out wheels, blow off my paint, and blow out all the cracks and crevices. So next up here, we have the Rupes LHR 15 Mark III. Now I have a Mark II at home. Obviously we have the new HLR 15 as well, but this is just gonna be an example of a polisher, right? This isn't gonna be my ultimate polisher by any means, but I will typically have a Rupes polisher, Rupes product. And so I have a 15 Mark II at home, I have the hybrid, and eventually when I go cordless, I'll pick up the HLR 15 and the HLR 75, but ultimately, this is just an example of a machine, right? I'm always gonna have a machine, especially if I'm doing paint correcting or polishing, and it's typically going to be a Rupes machine. No knock on the other machines. I think Flex makes amazing machines as well, but this is what I'm most used to, and this is what I'm going to gravitate towards first. So that's pretty much it, right? That's it for tools. I'm not gonna typically have much more than this on my detailing cart. Yes, I do use a steamer. Yes, I do use a vacuum. I use all of those things, but typically, I keep things clean enough around my own house, and I keep things clean enough to where I don't always have to use a vacuum. I don't always have to use a steamer. And once you maintain things, you can keep things going with just a few of what you see here today. All right, so hopefully that gives you a good look to what I will typically reach for on a daily basis, weekly basis, whatever it may be, or what just kind of lives on my detailing cart. Again, there's plenty of other tools out there that I'll use, from steamers to vacuums to all sorts of different things, but this just gives you a good taste test here. Now, if you want to see Levi's detail cart, you want to see what he's reaching for, please just make sure to let us know down in the comments. And as always, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and give us a big thumbs up. Subscribe down below for more, and stay tuned for more videos right here at The Rag Company.